Well, let's talk about BEML. That's the one that's on our radar. The last couple of quarters, the numbers have been a little bit disappointing. They were earlier guiding for close to around 20% revenue growth. But as things stand, as of 9 months, it's actually a bit of a degrowth. So understand how's business shaping up. We're joined by Mr. Shantanu Roy, the Chairman and Managing Director of the company. Hi, Mr. Roy. Good morning and thanks a lot for joining in. Well, last few quarters, performance hasn't been great because of the execution problems. But now we're looking at quarter 4. What kind of a revenue number can you deliver? Your first 9 months, the revenue degrowth is close to around 7%. To even match FY24 numbers, you'll have to do revenues of close to around 1700 crores. So what do you end this year with? Are we likely to see a flat number in FY25 in comparison to FY24, or are we bracing for a degrowth? Please go ahead, sir.
Good morning, Nigel.
Morning.
It's very good to be back with CNBC TV 18. Yes, the numbers have not been very good the first 9 months. But let us understand, we have 3 business verticals. And out of the 3 business verticals, the mining and defense have done very well. The rail and metro has been down by almost 50% as compared to last year. And in spite of that, the company has held its ground. And that talks about the resilience and the versatility of the company. We still have 45 days to go in the current year. And we are working towards, the aspiration that we have. And, if you look at the most positive aspect, that is the order book. If you look at the company's, if you look at the order book history over the past 5 years or so, never before have we crossed 5,000 crores except 1 year. And last year it was 7,000 crore of order inflow. This year we are already at around 6,000 crore. And the coming 45 days, it will be another 3,000 crores. The highest ever order book growth, highest ever order inflow for the company in a financial year. That is what we are going to achieve this year, which talks about, the long-term value that the company is going to create. So, yes, quarter-to-quarter financial results are very important. It's very important for the investors. But at the same time, the kind of value that BEML is creating, that is phenomenal. The value in terms of the deliverables, the bullet train, the high-speed train, the Vande Bharat sleeper, the engine for the defense forces, the indigenized high-end mining equipment. So that is a long-term value. And it's a test match, basically. So test match, it takes time.
Okay, all right. But, on a day-to-day basis, we need to see how the test match is playing out, right? So let's focus on the initial session itself. That is the upcoming session, FY25, what you'll end with. You have done roughly around 2,300 crores. Earlier, going by the projections, from 4,000 crores, you should have ended the year at around 4,700 to 4,800 crores. So realistically, for this year, what will you end the year with in terms of revenues? Point number 1. And you had indicated that margins will improve by around 100 basis points. It's in that vicinity of around 7.5 to around 8%, 7 to 8%. So are we on track to see margins further improve from here? Revenues for this year, for next year, as well as margins. Please go ahead, Mr. Roy.
You see, Nigel, as I said, we are in the final few days, I would say. And since the third quarter, the growth has been quite phenomenal in the month of January, as well as what we have seen in the first 17 days of the current month. And with rail and metro, it is on the verge of firing. So I don't see any reason why the company should not do well. As I said, we still have around 45 days to go for the current financial year to end.
Mr. Roy, so you'll end this year flat? This year flat revenues, FY25 versus FY24, which would mean you'll have to do 1,700 crores in quarter 4. That's possible?
I did not say that we will end flat.
No, I'm asking you.
I believe that the match is not lost till the last ball is bowled. Okay. We have the orders with us. We only have to focus on execution, and that is what we are doing. Our current order book, as it stands, at around 15,000 crores, out of which 60% comes from rail and metro, 30% comes from defense, and 10% comes from mining. And the coming 45 days, the order that we are expecting whatever mining orders we get, that we are going to execute in the current financial year itself.
Okay. So we shouldn't rule out a 10% growth at least for this year, given that you'll be batting right till the last ball. Some growth in FY25 versus FY24?
Nigel, you are trying to put words in my mouth, but let's wait for the results. Definitely there will be growth. And
okay, there will be growth.
Definitely there will be growth. And as far as the EBITDA is concerned, 100 basis point EBITDA that I had given a guidance, we are working towards that. And let's see how the next 45 days turn out for us.
Okay, all right. So at least there'll be growth in FY25 versus FY24, but you're taking it down to the wire. So we'll have to see how much of growth can you deliver. So we'll wait by for that. Also, just to confirm, the order book is around 15,000 crores, and you're talking about incremental orders of, I think, 3 to 5,000 crores. There'll be some execution as well. So you'll end the year with an order book of close to around 18,000 crores?
Yes.
Okay, got it. Also, just a word on your working capital days. That got a little bit, went up a little bit, I think, to around 260 days odd. I think normally it was in the previous year, in the same quarter, was around 230 days. Apologies for that. Do you think things will improve from here on? What is the working capital days we should be working with?
You see, the working capital has always been a concern. And one of the biggest reasons of the working capital going up was the inventory that we had built up, and which we will execute in the last quarter. Once we are able to do that, we are also working on reducing our debtors on a mission mode. Once that is done, I am sure the working capital, when we end the financial year, will be better as compared to last year. And also, when the company is in a state of transformation, we are undertaking so many development projects, we are undertaking so much capital investment. So sometimes, definitely, yes, it happens that the working capital it gets stressed. More so when we have not gone for a long-term debt in spite of going for a huge capex. So, but that we are going to change next year. We are now planning to go for some long-term debt to fund our capex infusion. So that will ease out the working capital in the next financial year to a great extent.
All right. We'll leave it there. We had more questions, but short on time. But good luck as you execute. Continue to execute, and hopefully, we'll see some sort of turn as far as the stock is concerned as well, because the business seems to be in decent shape. 28.31 on BEML, off the highs of about 5,500. We'll take a